Check, check. All right, I think I have that sorted out. If you can hear me and you're here, please let me know. Beautiful. Okay. So yeah, again, welcome, and thanks for stopping by. I was gonna, like I was saying, I was going to wait to do the video another day or two, just because I wanted to see a bit more of a move. But we will kind of go over things in the lower term, and then we'll relook at the long term again. Because I do believe that things are going to change here soon, and we kind of want to be ready for that change. So thank you if you're here. Lasers go pew pew. Thanks for being here. HRJ Trading. Thank you very much for being here as well. All right, so the first thing we'll do is we're going to go over and look at dominance. I always start at dominance, and we'll go high time frame on that. So here, I'll go to my other chart. We haven't had to do anything to this chart for a long time. And I mean, when you call it luck or fortune, I don't know, but we got pretty good with the switch of momentum here, and we are in fact seeing dominance fall out of this pattern. The same one we've looked at every video. We're seeing dominance fall down through here. But we have to continuously watch as this forms patterns on the way down, because we are going to see at some point, we are going to see some type of a retest or a retry up to these levels, and we're going to see alts do pullbacks. Or so maybe we get to see this before we actually see our alts run, or maybe we see a big fall off and everything starts to pull back aggressively, and then we get our run. But right now, alts are starting to look really good for us. And again, if we look at this on the bigger time frames, we saw this big pullback of momentum here that we haven't seen in quite some time, and our money flows pulling back. So we could really see an alt season kick up. Total is holding on these previous levels. That's what we've been watching for, is to see if we hold on these levels and continue to push. And I'm pretty sure the last time we spoke about Bitcoin, we were in this pattern here. This was shared out in the group when we were still up here somewhere, I believe, somewhere in this range. So we got our immediate drop. We fell through. This was our idea, right? You break down and then you retest again and then you drop. So whether you were paying attention and you got the small breakout and retest and then got your drop to your level, or you got that bigger breakout, failure here, obviously it broke up through, but then it got rejected, did a retest again, and then we pulled down to those levels. So the reason I show the three different ideas is so that I can't predict what's going to happen, but I can tell you one of two or three things is going to happen and the best way to try to trade it. So if we had have broken up here, printed some type of a bullish pattern and held this level, then you would have looked at this idea for the push back up right away. But that didn't happen. We lost this level. We failed to get back into this level, and we pulled back. And again up here, we tried to break up and hold, and we broke down below and failed. So that pushed us down to a lower level. So now we just kind of have to watch for the next big. Obviously, this will all get erased now, and this will turn into a new pattern and a new idea. But so far, we kind of had more of a bearish. We had more of a bearish thing happen. What would have been nice to have seen for Bitcoin remaining really bullish right now is this to have held out, and we held these levels, ran with them, and then pushed up. But unfortunately, we've broken down out of this. Now, it doesn't mean that it's over. It just means we have to reevaluate the situation now. It's not a very clean pattern on the higher time frames. I mean, it's not smooth, right? It's kind of toppy looking. Okay. Now on the higher time frames, we've been looking at this bigger rising pattern, and we have broken out of this bigger rising pattern. I think it was up here. Yeah. Okay, so even on the daily right now, Bitcoin itself doesn't look amazing. We were running up in this big trend, and we've broken down, did a retest, and failed. So if this starts to roll, it doesn't mean that Bitcoin has to go down to super low levels, but if Bitcoin starts to do nothing and dominance starts to go down to the levels, say we get, what are we at right now? I think we were at like 60 something or 50 something. What were we at? 58. So if dominance goes down another 5 or 6 to 10 points, and we start to consolidate with Bitcoin, that's when we see the alts make their moves. So I mean, just because alt season is on the way, allegedly, doesn't mean that Bitcoin's going to be destroyed. It kind of means that Bitcoin's going to linger, and more of the money is going to be flowing into the alts. More people are going to be trading the alts. So those things happen in moments of consolidation. Now, I think the last time we looked at Ethereum, we were down here in this possible flag pattern. We exploded through the top of it, up to basically the max level. I think that's the high. So did we make an all-time high? I think we did. Beautiful. It's kind of getting that slowdown pattern happening now. It's going to kind of range out for a little while, maybe. Play in this range. I mean, it did break the all-time high, so we could see it push. But right now, like I said, from this level, we did break up through, and then I said we're going to see another level. So now we're actually kind of seeing this next level play out. which of course you can look at on a, bigger pattern idea, and you're in some type of a rising pattern, or what I would say is a curve, like an arc. So we're watching this to kind of dwindle sideways. We're watching Bitcoin to slow down because we want to see alts make a move, right? If we're going to get an altcoin season. Okay, so we'll start looking at these alts again. And this is why I wasn't really looking to do the video just yet, is because not much has changed. We're still doing that same range. But what we're looking at is, where we're ranging. How far does this dry out before we see it make a nice move? Link finished our idea. It ran up to the top idea that we had. And again, what we're looking for now is pullbacks or breakthroughs. So we want to see confident breakthroughs of these levels, or we're looking towards pullbacks. I'm much more interested in anything that's maybe not something that's new. I mean, this isn't a lot of data, but it's still in one of those patterns, right? It's low. It's consolidating. This is kind of more of what we're looking for to see run if Bitcoin is going to go a little stale. And again, I'm just going to go through stuff quickly today because it hasn't changed a lot since the last video. If you didn't watch the last video, I kind of broke down all of these ideas in detail. But this video, I just wanted to stop back in and talk about how the ideas aren't really changing. We're dragging out farther. And long term, we're still looking at us being at relatively low levels, and we're looking to push higher. Okay, again, larger time frame ideas, and we are still making these sideways movements. So we haven't done it yet, but I'm definitely very interested in buying alts right now. All right, so here's another one that we recently had, and we were looking at this as our top idea. Again, either we top out or we break out and retest, but we definitely hit this range. We topped out, and we've had a pretty significant pullback so far. So now you want to wait now, right? We got this, and we got this, and now we want to wait. The next buy points are here, or a clean breakout and somewhere over here. Again, Shiba, same thing. We're down at these levels. It just might not be time yet. We range for a while. I can't say exactly where that ends or how long we range along, but we do range for a while. And then we break the range, we make our move, and we return back to home base. And a lot of alts are looking like this right now. a majority of things are looking like this right now. And again, I'm going to go through these quickly. I'm not going to make a giant video. If you want to have all of this exact stuff broken down, check out the last video because I broke down things in the last video. I just wanted to pop on and kind of go over how things are still in play. And we're still going with the same ideas right now. Now, if you do want to look at smaller time frame stuff and trade stuff like that, hop in the Discord and talk to me because I'm always on trading and scalping and all of the really wild in the wood stuff that you probably shouldn't do. So if you are into that kind of stuff, there's a free side to my Discord and it's way too quiet in there all day. So come hang out and trade stuff and we'll go over charts and we'll find money in the markets together. But again, everything, same situation here. We're consolidating right now. Same thing, looking for the range to change, looking for momentum to change, looking to start pushing up. We need to break these levels. And we need to start pushing in the upward direction. Now, small time frame, we're in an uptrend. But in the higher time frames, until we break this level, we're not super confident that we won't hit this level. Now, we were sharing this in the group back on this wedge here. And we had these levels and this was all drawn out. So when we bounced on these levels and we've started to make a bit of a run, that's great. But just like everything else right now, overall, we are ranging. However you want to draw it, whether it's a triangle or an arc, we're ranging right now. So nothing says that we're going to go right now. But isn't it much better to be ready and be in down here than to be sweating buckets as to whether you should get the pullback up here? Same thing with dot. Everything is the same right now. I can't express this enough. Like everything is the same. Okay? Stuff like this, you almost want to start looking for another pattern here. Something that's going to give you an idea of, I mean, see that looks amazing. You get back down into these levels, you get another chance before we break out and actually make a run. So it's started. Anybody that says that it's not alt season yet is just trying to make you wait too long to be a part of alt season. When something goes from this pinched idea and runs up 600% and then starts to make another bullish pattern, and then you have online streamers saying, well, anybody that says alt season starting is an idiot. Those guys are trying to get you wrecked. Their bags are loaded. You're being bamboozled. And if they're not accumulating down here on these giant constant patterns that always happen over and over and over again, they're probably not the guys anyways. It's the same thing that happened way over here back when everything was much newer. Obviously, the last alt season happened fast and it happened sooner. And the DeFi coins were relatively new when it happened, but they all started with these long, drawn out patterns. That's how they all started, every single one of them. You know, and you could even do this and say you had some type of a breakout and an aggressive retest. And then now we have these massive drawn out patterns that are breaking through. Volume is increasing. And people are looking at you and saying, well, it's not alt season yet. Don't worry about it. Okay, again, this is another great example. Now, it's obviously in the middle right now. But it has two choices. It's either going to break up and run. It's going to bounce at these lows and then break up and possibly run. Now, anything that's down at those lows, down here, we've looked at many things that are. That's what I'm looking for right now. Anything that's broken this level confidently and is retesting up here, that's what I'm looking for right now. Anything that's right here is a scalp trade at best. Maybe a small swing trade if you're paying attention on the lower time frame levels. Now, this pattern indicates to me that we might see this pullback first, but it doesn't mean we have to. So you have to kind of use your risk and manage it well. But what you're looking for is where the volume is going to enter. Because typically the volume will show up at a certain point, whether it's a breakout or whether it's the bottom of a wedge pattern. That's where it actually happens. Like if we go back and do this old price, and now imagine back when all that existed on this coin was this price action before it made its move. It had been this long, drawn out, boring pattern. And when it finally broke out of this and pulled back for a retest, it didn't get to retest long before it made its run. So volume decided to show up on this idea. And you get up to the top of the idea, and volume decided to leave this trade on this idea, right? Once we confidently kind of broke down out of this level and couldn't get back up there, that was it. It was over for a while. So now we're looking for this on a massive scale. Just like this price action turned into nothing, we expect this price action to do the same thing if this is going to be a real bull run. Okay, and that stuff takes time. If you're looking at Filecoin as an example, every single one of these runs in between them was a good 3/4 of a year. And now we're well into that, aren't we? It's been the longest we've gone so far since the actual alt season, the real alt season, without seeing any movement. So to me, that indicates that we're getting ready for probably one of the biggest bull runs we've seen in a long time, and they are over dragging this to the point that everybody gets angry, frustrated, runs out of money, and then they will send it all the way. Okay, so we're consolidating. Our ideas, they stay the same. We're consolidating. We're still looking to get up and get a run to these levels and break out and retest and continue higher. And again, be mindful that all of these patterns, you will see them on the smaller time frames. It's all fractional patterns. Okay, so everything that is at these lower levels and is long drawn out and consolidating, those are the things that are the bottom of the runs. Every time you start to see this stuff happen, you're seeing your distribution phase and people are taking profits. And how many people get wrecked because they see this happen and then they jump in? And that's the like literally the worst time to make an entry. And then we get down here and everybody says, "Oh, it's over. This is boring, blah blah blah." And this is the best time to make an entry. XRP. Okay, so the last time we looked, we had an idea for some divergence, but that really didn't, I mean, kind of played out, I guess. It did manage to push higher. Yeah, so I mean, it's definitely a lot less significant. It's still there, but it's a lot less significant than it was the last time we looked at this. And again, down at the bottom of these levels, same thing's happening. We definitely held and made our bounce. And now we're holding our ground up here. So again, we just have to see here. I mean, if dominance drops, Sui runs. If dominance holds, we draw out a bit longer. So Luna's actually been doing pretty well. It's kind of just holding and pushing. We were looking at this level last time, yeah. And so it's making its way. Wouldn't put it there. That's pretty aggressive. It's definitely on its way up. We crossed. I think we were talking about the cross last video. We managed to cross and hold. And so we're pushing a bit higher now. But again, look at all the things that we were, as we're going through, how many coins did we just look at that look like this right now? They look like this right here. I'm not too sure about this. This is on here for a friend. Someone in the group wanted me to keep an eye on this one, so I have been. And then the other ones we have setups for, so I'm not even going to share them. But again, you get the point. So the entire market right now is waiting for the same thing to happen. We want to see dominance pull away. We want to see Bitcoin run sideways. And we want to see all of those alts that are at the bottom have the chance to make that run up to their top ideas. Anything that's already made that run, you're going to let it cool off, take a break from it. But all of those ones that are bottomed out that we just looked at, those are the ones you want to be looking at. Oh, I don't want to look at that one. Yeah, look at this one. Hey, JB, how's it going, man? Thanks for stopping by. It's going good over here. Not as eventful of a week as I wanted it to be, but it's a week. Had a nice little scalp trade on that giant red candle we had. But other than that, everything's kind of just running sideways. Most of my alt positions are just kind of running sideways. Um, Even the few things that I'm in the stock market right now are just kind of running sideways. Not as eventful as I'd like, but very good. All right, so let's look at Bitcoin here. Let's just rechart Bitcoin because it's never a bad idea to rechart Bitcoin. These were such clean patterns. Like that was such a clean indication. Same with something back here, like way back when this happened. Seems forever ago now. It was such a clear indication that we were about to, you know, push back up again. This was such an obvious down. We had crazy divergence in here. Double top. This was such an obvious indicator. And then now it just gets harder and harder by the day to try to pinpoint exactly where Bitcoin's going to go. So, I mean, obviously, somewhere in this range is a resistance level, and we're going to have to break this and hold this if we want to push to the next level. But we might stagger along here for a while. I mean, ideally, if we want alts to run, this does nothing. It falls through, it goes back up, it falls through, and it just ranges along so that alts can have their turn. Obviously, all the Bitcoin bulls wanna hit this and run. I hear a lot about 140, 140. So I mean, it's not impossible. We just have to take it level for level, right? And obviously, trading stuff on this higher time frame is a completely different ball game than trading anything on those smaller time frames. It's different strategies, it's different ideas, same patterns. It's just higher. You know, the lower you go on this bar, the higher your risk goes. So if you want to find this type of a pattern, a reversal pattern on a smaller time frame, they're there. But the chances of them playing out exactly as you want them to are not going to be as high. What was I looking at locally today? This morning, I think it was, I was trading this idea. No, where was it? Oh, it was this right here. Yeah, I was trading this morning. But I had it set out as a flag, right? I expected us to get rejected here, and I basically got stopped out immediately, and then didn't re-enter to see what it would do, and it pushed up, it held, and made another run in the upward direction. So but if we look at our overall idea, it's not looking super bullish for Bitcoin right at this moment. All right, so the last bottom double idea all the way up to the new all-time high, double top possibly here. Obviously, there was enough of a double top up here that it's had a pullback. So we are in this curving idea. Our rising wedge idea has been broken below. Every line that you want to draw to try to make Bitcoin seem like it's going to be super bullish right now is getting less and less convincing. So me personally, I have more alts in my eyes, or on, you know, I have more alts in the future trades than I do Bitcoin personally. What about you guys? What are you guys trading right now? I know there was a couple of things added to the list. We added Sonic to the list, which again is in a nice falling wedge pattern, but it's newer, so I'm so much less confident in newer things. I like more information, but again, anytime that if this does make its way down this level, I'm probably going to consider my entries down here at these lower levels. And then again, just like before, if we break these levels, I'm going to consider my entries on these retest ideas, right? Then we have another perfect example. Same pattern idea. So again, you got two options here: entry or entry. This was another one added. We did not get this. Obviously, it just got added into the group. Someone shared it. It's a little high. It's a little intimidating looking for me right now. We were looking at this divergence idea, and obviously it's pulling back, and I'd be just kind of holding on right now. Yeah, alts can be tough. I don't know. I don't know what you trade in, like as far as time frames go, but like yeah, altcoins are they move so much. For me, if I'm doing Bitcoin, I do my futures on pretty aggressive leverage. But if I'm doing alts, I don't go much past 5 to maybe if I'm super confident, I'll do 10 because alts are really awkward. They're really spinny. And even if you have like the perfect pattern sometimes on an altcoin, Bitcoin can just kind of come in and crush the party. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with getting good at Bitcoin and just trading Bitcoin. But it never hurts to consider the idea that altcoins might be looking to, steal the show soon. My big thing with altcoins is I don't necessarily scalp altcoins. I'll swing trade altcoins. So I'll take the bigger moves on altcoins. A lot of times I like to be in say the 6 hour time frame. So where were the two? I think they were back here. But yeah, on the 6 hour time frame, you can get like these little reversal looking patterns and get a little spike. And then we got another one here. We had this little reversal looking pattern, drew a line, and we got a spike. And then we had the same thing here when we looked at the whole pattern. So I'm pretty prone to only doing like long pattern trading on alts because yeah, alts are crap for that. They're very misleading if Bitcoin decides to do what it wants to. Bitcoin, however, you can go into the smaller time frames sometimes and actually make a decision in the smaller time frames. It's a little more consistent. It has the volume. I try to stick to high volume stuff. That's a big deal for me. Like if it doesn't have good volume, I don't trade it. Yeah, well, and that's like 20x on a coin that's a cent. It's just the most volatile thing in the world. The only reason I do such high leverage on Bitcoin, obviously, is because if I'm only going to buy $200 or $300 worth of it, um, that's not a very big position when it costs $124,000 for just one. So that's why I'll crank the leverage up. But if it's something like a Shiba on 50x leverage on a volatile day is danger game. It just your percentages move so much more. I couldn't imagine some of these new like meme coins being in there playing with them on leverage and be wreck city for sure. Also, if you catch it right and you do it right, it's money city. So that's kind of the catch 22 of it all. If anybody's wondering why I'm wearing this giant wooden tooth, it was my birthday on August the 11th, and my son carved this for me by hand. So, pretty proud. Gonna wear that for sure. Stock market, not really doing much either, eh? Pretty boring. I know we had some Nvidia news today. Didn't really do too much, I don't think. We're just ranging. Everything's ranging right now. I'd love to see gold and Bitcoin get completely crushed and altcoins do great, but we're going to have to wait. Oh, okay. So that hasn't dropped yet. Excuse me. Yeah, because I mean, it had a slight. I think that was no, that wasn't today. That was I'm on the wrong time frame. Yeah, so I mean, it didn't really get affected much today. So that would make sense. I mean, still though, that's a pretty powerful company. I can't see anything too bad happening. This thing's just been a monster. I actually feel kind of silly. I had grabbed in this here. I had grabbed up. I think it's a nice handful. I think I had like 17 or 18 of them. A nice handful. And as soon as we got a few percents above this level, I don't think we got up much past the 160. I think I was around 165, and I sold all of them but like two out. So I definitely wish I had held a little longer on that for sure, but no complaints here. Same with Tesla. Oh, Tesla hasn't really gone back up. I was scaled in really nice in Tesla back here, and I didn't take a lot of profits here, and then I doubled up down here, and I because I missed this and I just didn't want to waste my time anymore, and I'd spent so much time in the trade, I actually got rid of everything somewhere up here. And I was hoping to see another pullback. I think I still have a couple of them, but nothing big. I was hoping to see this pull back some more, but it doesn't look like it's going to right now. It could still. Palantir's been pulling back quite a bit. Still though, great run. It might do the same thing that Nvidia did. Just kind of maybe not that much. It's the stock market. Much smaller, much smaller. You know, you never get that much time in the stock market. You get that pullback and then it runs. I mean, remember what was it, a month or two ago when everybody was freaking out about this dip? We said we got two choices. We're either going to just recover or we're going to range for a while. Well, we didn't range at all. We made the pullback, we ran back up, and then away we went. So it's very rare for the stock market to range. Okay. We ranged in 2000. We ranged a bit and had a pretty big pullback here. And then here. In the history of this entire chart, other than that, it's just slow and grow. We have pullbacks, they go right back up. Pullbacks, they go right back up. Pullbacks, right back up. Pullback, right back up. There's only been a select few moments where this chart has spent any time ranging. Isn't that scary though? I mean, if you looked at this chart in the crypto world, you wouldn't dare buy that. You'd be like, "Oh my gosh, this thing's about to have like giant pullback." Yeah, I would never touch that in crypto ever. But again, I guess, slow and steady, right? Nice and healthy. This is a much bigger time frame. Same thing. Where was it? The daily. Yeah, this did the same thing. Everybody was losing their shirts, losing their hats, and we had a little tiny pullback, and right back up we went, just like every other time. Yeah, 100%. And that's so if as long as you're getting used to the calculations of depending on or taking into account what time frame you're in, you're gonna do just fine. Especially with crypto. Crypto, it's such a big deal because you don't you don't have to deal with that as much. Like if you go like let's go look at the 10 minute or not sorry the 10 minute the 1 minute on something that people would maybe like if you're day trading something like this, it's not super volatile. But then if you want to go try to day trade Bitcoin, it's every single pump is a crazy spike. It takes a lot more work. Hey, Andrew, cheers, man. Nice to see you. I don't know. That being said, Tesla's pretty wild, isn't it? No, but it really is. It's so much more. It's so much more volatile. Let's see. Where's my percentage? It's really the closest thing you'll get to crypto is the Tesla stock. This stock, maybe not really even though, eh? I mean, this thing's just been a pretty consistent grower too. The patterns just don't look the same on the stock market stuff. There's so much more manipulation, obviously. But that's okay though, because the other thing that's what we like about crypto is because as long as you're smart and you use your risk management and you don't try to get rich in 10 minutes, you can stay on top of that stuff and you'll do really well because it is more volatile and you do have a better chance of bigger runs. What are we doing now? I don't know. The whole market's kind of stale this week. I was hoping to see so much more action. We could be pushing for a reversal here, though. Very possible. It's a little too early to decide that. I mean, I'm confident with this, but we have to see if we get a connection and a hold over here. Yeah, it's not in a very clean pattern. And it doesn't really have the indicators on its side. I mean, we've got price action going up. And we've got money flow heading down. Just got to take it level for level, right? And I'm not even super confident on. Now, hold on here. Once this loads. The last bounce we got, I was pretty confident on. I traded on a couple of them and did all right. But I'm not even super confident on this one. And I will show you why. Do the 4 hour instead. Because this bounce also has started to develop this downward trend idea. So at this point, we really need to see something nice and clean form over here. Because usually when you get this double top, you get a nice little pullback. It looks very, it's topping out. It looks like it's really trying to top out here. And even if we go back to the higher time frame again, right? So it looks toppy. It looks like it's topping out for now. Nice range, breakout. Nice range, breakout. With this breakout, double top, finish this breakout. For now, double top. Now, again, finish doesn't mean zero. Finish just means we could roll back down into here. Just means we could come down to here before we get the next level. In doing so, by us slowly working our way down and ranging, not pushing any higher on Bitcoin, by us creating some type of a ranged idea like this, everything will pull back and then alts will run really well. Everything will pull back, alts will run really well. And so if we start to see dominance go down in this range across here, that's what we're going to see is our alts. Even better is if Bitcoin totally gets devastated down to a low level that scares everybody, and then ranges. That would give us super alt season. But that's kind of what needs to happen, right? Because what they do is they take the money out of Bitcoin, out of the high market cap, and then they put it down into the bit lower market cap, then to your mids, then to your lows, then to your micro. So they kind of funnel the money through the market. And so in order for us to get that great altcoin season, we kind of need Bitcoin to cooperate in a certain way. I think it's that one. There it is. Okay. And again, that's kind of what we're seeing right now. I'll go to the 3-day then. Weekly. Right, so this is kind of what we're looking at right now. As we progress from this level to this level, alts will do things they haven't done in a long, long time. Yeah, I mean Ethereum's been doing really well, so that works as well. And Soluna's been doing very well. Those are much safer coins. Like personally, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Soluna. I even um, I would say even ADA if they end up passing it through, like they're talking about. You might not get the big volatile moves in the future with those, but you are gonna see the one good thing about trading the stock market is if you mess a trade up, you don't necessarily have to worry about waking up to the coin being at zero or the stock being at zero unless you're trading really unknown stocks, right? Like if you're trading Tesla and you make a mistake and you get stuck in that trade for a half a year, it's probably okay because Tesla's probably going to be okay. But in crypto, if you get it wrong, holy smokes. So yeah, sticking to those coins, Bitcoin, Soluna, Ethereum, even heck, even like Dogecoin, Shiba, some of those old DeFi coins that have kind of really put themselves into the communities where you think, okay, this probably isn't going anywhere, or some of them that have put themselves right into the infrastructure of the blockchain itself, and you kind of like you have a good idea that those they're going to be around. So even if you mess up on a trade, you're going to be okay because that's going to still exist. You're still going to have a chance for your money to come back until you get into the really silly stuff. And then it's just lighting money on fire on the wrong days. Yeah, 100%. That's definitely it, Andrew. And that's how it has to be, right? Because how they're all these big guys. That's all they're doing. They're just moving money from one spot to another spot slightly before you're allowed to know about it, and that's how they pump the markets. And they did just take all the profits that they've made on hyper running Bitcoin. Gold gets hyper ran up, and then Bitcoin kind of back runs with it, and then all of a sudden they pull back, and all of the altcoins go insane, and then they use all that money from all the altcoins going insane to profit the next level of Bitcoin and gold and the rest. I mean, all the big money is using this as a tool, right? It's just they're using. I think it's so wild that people have more than say like 5 or 10 cryptocurrencies that they enjoy. Me personally, I don't hold anything. I do not hold cryptocurrency. I trade cryptocurrency. I do not hold it. Never have. I have been trading successfully and doing my thing with trading for years, and I do not hold cryptocurrency. I trade it. It's so wild to see so many people that are like, I'm just taking everything I earn and putting it all into crypto. And you gotta love it. That's great, but holy smokes, you're brave. We have to recognize what these markets are. They're they're manipulation. Take it for what it is. I'm not saying it's not a great opportunity. Don't get me wrong, but it's it's very obvious at this point um, what is going on with the markets. Yeah, and I'm like, I wonder if we're topping out. I don't mean to sound like a bear today. Tomorrow I might come on and sound like a total bull, but man, I'm just really hoping that all of these reversal patterns are false. And we kind of had the same thing over here, though, right? Same thing, and it blasted upward. It's just a range. And then we got this big drop out of this range. And then we collected back in and made a run. So there's nothing that says we don't do that again and that we don't continue on up. Maybe we see that run down to test our previous level, right? Just a small, quick. We're just going to keep watching dominance here. And you could go back and completely check this out and see what level. I mean, we could really be at that level. And we retested here and ran back up. We retested here and ran back up. We came down, got rejected, held, ran up. And then here we are. So I guess we'll really have to see what happens now. This runs. Bitcoin gets a new high. Alts get devastated one more time. And then we go. Or we fall through, bearish retest, alt season. Either way, when you've got dominance up here, historically, alts are at those lower levels. They're in those areas where you should be definitely paying attention. Not saying we're going to get $20 ADA, sorry. But like, you see it, right? You see it. Please tell me you see it. And the thing is it doesn't last as long as, I mean, this, it happens so fast. That's why you got to make the plan. We had 952 days of why am I trading? And then we had, if you want to include this, rebounds, and I wouldn't even, I'd say that was, that was basically the run out of the pattern. You ran for 1/3 of the time, if you're lucky, where you were actually just solid running and everything else was just sideways. And obviously, there's so much money to be made in crypto in here because on the 1 hour time frame, unlike the stock market, that's a 15% move. And if you go to the stock market and you look at the stock market, that's a 3% move. If you got it all day, it's a 7% move. So there's reasons why we do the crypto. But yeah, it's long and drawn out on crypto. The stock markets, if you got a good company, it's going to just slow and grow. And unfortunately, crypto pump and dump, pump and dump, pump and dump. Doesn't matter how great the project is. The only thing that doesn't pump and dump is Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are the only two things in cryptocurrency that don't pump and dump. XRP's trying really hard to join that group. Solana, I guess, is probably going to try to join that group too. Where's XRP here? All right, XRP's always just been a pump and dump kind of coin. Always. So if it holds these levels up here, it's changing its level, or it's changing its mind, and it's going to try to become consistent. Who would have thought that by drawing a line there and there, you'd be able to judge when XRP was going to pull back way over here? Crazy. How upset is everybody going to be when XRP goes back down to 60 cents? All right. And really, if you wanted to, you could totally get away with this. Big, long, drawn out pattern. Run up. Consolidation. Run up. What now? Well, that higher high though. Though it does have divergence on it right now. On the weekly. For now. And we're going up. And we're going down. B&B, I'm going to add that. I heard that hit all-time high. I used to trade B&B when it was like, I don't even want to talk about it. Oh, gosh. Is this going to be on Binance? No, I don't want to see that one. Not that one. Better do B&B on Binance. Oh, I still have a chart here from a long time ago. That's funny. Yeah, so that's insane because we were trading B&B. Wow. It's pushed up to a new all-time high. That's crazy, eh? If you're on my Instagram, you can go back and look at the Telegram setups that we gave out when we were looking at this rising wedge. And then we were looking at it doing this inside of that wedge. We had bots trading this. And when it was way down in like the $12 area. Now it's 800. I haven't really looked at B&B because Binance kicked Canada out of their roster, so I kind of boycotted them. Not that I wanted to. See, there you go. Look at that. Nice, beautiful curve pattern right there. How about that? You can't even make that up. Wonderful. Yeah, that's crazy. Good for them. 809. It hit 9. That's epic. CZ knows what he's doing, I guess. If we use XRP theory, he's got a long ways to go. Holy smokes. I don't know. That seems a little much, eh? I don't think we're going to count that. Could you imagine? There's just no way. I guess I can't say that though. This is crypto. When we said the same thing about all this stuff. If you look at Link, I said the same thing about Link back when it first started to run. And when we ran, when we saw all this and we were trying to take estimates and we would take these levels and run them. And we'd look at these levels and be like, what? That's impossible. And we'd run them across. Because remember, back when we were doing this, there was nothing but this. This is all that existed. It's all that existed when these things came out. So you were just trying to look at these ranges and make an estimate. And then you were trying to look at the next range and make an estimate. And you never, ever once thought that when you drew that line, it was going to actually play out. And then we hit an actual alt season. And boy, if those lines didn't get hit and get blown out of the water and sent into space and spit up and chewed out and tossed right back down to ground zero. Again, though, we're talking about something that has a much higher market cap at this point. So, but it's really hard to say. I'm going to be pretty excited to see how many people are super surprised. Like, imagine the people that are going to wake up in the morning and their coin's going to be up 500%. They're going to take profit and then they're going to be like out at the bar having a drink for the night and come back to their computer and they're going to get sick to their stomach because now it's up 3,000% instead. When you don't want to get caught buying in when it all starts to happen because that's how you lose all your money. You're this guy. You're this guy. He sees the market being long and boring and he hears everybody insulting cryptocurrency and complaining about it, so he buys a bunch. And then when he goes onto his computer and the entire world's talking about how Bitcoin's the most amazing thing in the world and it's going to $2 million, he takes some profits. And then when it falls back down and everybody's freaking out about how bad it is, he buys. Be that guy. Don't be the guy that finally shows up at his computer when Bitcoin's up at the top and then buys the breakout. So what do you think? Do you think we range? Or do you think Bitcoin's got more in it? I keep hearing 140. At first it was 120, which we did, and now I keep hearing 140. And that worked for the first time. We went up over it. Mm. Yeah, I think we dump. Yeah, I don't know. We're getting drawn out. We're getting up there. We're losing momentum. We're losing volume. It's it's getting dicey. And you know what? There'd be absolutely nothing wrong, and no one's gonna like it. But there would be nothing wrong with us seeing. Well, let's see. Here we hit the top, broke all the way up through to 65, 67 thou. And I told the whole group on this double top back in Telegram days, I said, I'm out. I'm selling everything. I'll see you at 13K. I could go back and show you the messages. I was kind of wrong because we only actually went down to 15K. Pretty close though. All right, and so now we have to consider this was the top last time, about here, right? Kind of like here. And we've broken it. So where do we go? Now, what's the next thing we test? Well, potentially right in here. And that would be us coming down to test this previous level. Now, maybe that was it. Maybe that was that. But I'm going to keep my lines right there. So I think 60, 65, 67 area is very possible. And then everybody can have their 200K. Well, it just kind of makes sense because if you're watching all the big time frames, that's really what they like to do. They always try to retrace that, and usually it's what is it, 60, 70%. Yeah, it's like you get a 77% pullback from our previous run high to the low. So let's pull us hypothetically we're at the top. Let's pull 77%. I mean, that's even worse. Let's hope it's not 77%. That's not even a 50% pullback. That would be the kindest pullback of Bitcoin history. It's such a common thing for these markets to do this. Like you get your massive crazy. That's a bull run right there, 10,000%. That's a bull run. But you know what happens after a bull run? 90% pullback. This run goes up 200%. Then it goes down 67%. So the swings are insane on everything. I think it's very possible. But again, look at the time that takes, right? It takes quite a bit of time for it to make that happen. We're not going to go down just boom. If we go down just boom, we're probably going to go up just boom. If we go down nice and slow, we're going to rotate around and do that big curve arc. I mean, this is going to be way overextended, but still, you get the idea. Same thing. So now are we doing this? Just so that we inevitably can do this again. And push up even higher. Obviously, this is like super hypothetical. And of course, that is going to be up to this guy. Whether we bounce here, I mean, we're looking like we want to, eh? Yeah, I mean it's very possible. We've seen it over and over again, right? You get that's your market cycle, and they're a lot more aggressive here. We're just so like hypothetically we're on distribution phase right now. And if we look, and again, this can still be unvalidated, but we've got the divergence here. We've got a low and a high, and then down here we've got a high and a low, and over here we've got a low and a high, and over here right now, currently, we've got a high and a low. So historically speaking, Bitcoin's got to chill out. Ethereum hit that all-time high hard though. $18.8 is a pretty good number. Hopefully you've gotten semi out since then. That's awesome. I pretty sure the first time I bought a Bitcoin, it was $4,200. And at one point I'm pretty sure I had a nice handful and I didn't hold my Bitcoin all the way to 120. That's pretty awesome. 18 to 120, that's a pretty good ride. That's great though. That makes me feel really good about the group. Or is this 3,000? The group didn't exist. Where did the group start? The group started somewhere in 2018. Somewhere here. I never even should have started a group back a few years ago. Should have just bought all this Bitcoin and just held everything. What a run though, eh? Long drawn out, boom. Long drawn out, boom. And then there's been none of that. It's just been run, run. Hey, that's a good Christmas. Everybody's feeling pretty good about that. Soluna's been great. I think Soluna's one of the only things that's just kind of pushing up right now. Yeah, it is. I got this crazy possible cup and handle idea on this thing. Big cup and handle, possibly. I don't know what the. I think that definitely qualifies as a real cup and handle because I hear a lot of people say cup and handle, cup and handle. But I think if you read the text, the cup and handle pattern has to be like 150 some days old. Like it has to be over a certain period of time before it to be considered a legitimate cup and handle. But I think this will definitely qualify. All right. Well, maybe we'll call it here for today, and I'll come back on next time, and we'll go over the same thing. Keep breaking it down the same way until it sinks in, and we can all make a bunch of money. Yeah, no problem. I was hoping that a lot more would have happened since the last video we did. I mean, we were talking about how we were going to range for a while and then maybe make a move. And since the last video, we've just been running that range. So, um, But that's all right, though. That just gives us more opportunity to get ready for it and be prepared. So, again, if you're not in the group, if you're just watching us for the first time, feel free to join the free Discord. I share stuff in there. And even if you want to get on and do one-on-one screen shares, that's why I pay for the premium Nitro, is so that we can go on and do screen shares and everything like that. So get in the group, join. I would love to see a nice amount of people, even in the free side, because I'm on here every day charting, trading, and I would love to share this stuff with more people, and we can all do well together. Well, he's gonna be the happiest one then, right, Andrew? When he gets to Christmas time, he's gonna get to brag the most because he's actually got some proof in the pudding. But yeah, all right. So we'll see you next stream. Thank you for stopping by. Join the Discord. Tell your friends. Share the video. I'm making a routine to get on here more. I've got my new computer all dialed in. I've got my new office nearly completely finished. We're going to take this thing to a whole new level this year and just keep pushing it. Um, I'd love to see everybody be a part of the ride so we can all make some money. All right, guys. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one.